Because, like, objectively speaking, I'm trying not to be biased, I feel like they're the better team.
They are the better team.
And then I'm just like, in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I know they're going to get screwed. I know the refs are just going to do another BS holding call because they should have won the last time.
Yeah. They have a better team. The problem is the NFL doesn't rig it for them.
All the stuff about, like, all the people have been coming out that feel like the head ref guy's just like, I feel like it's preposterous to think that 18 different crews.
I know, like they're like responding to it just makes it worse.
Yeah. And then there are like now are people doing interviews with people with like some guy asked Patrick Mahomes who his favorite ref was.
I was gonna ask if you saw that one.
Majority of the interviews and stuff I've been watching with all that is just the Jameis Winston ones of him like asking people what their favorite color is.
Oh, I didn't see Jameis.
Oh, he Fox hired him to go interview people for the Super Bowl. So he's hanging out in New Orleans being a news reporter for Fox, and he's just like, all of his things are like he'll do some big preamble. He's like, oh, I used to play with you in college. We've always talked about going to the Super Bowl and being champions, and I know everybody here just wants to know, what's your favorite color?
I love Jameis.
Yeah. He's like throwing W's at people. Like he made a bunch of W cookies. He's been throwing them at people. He threw one at Travis and he missed it. And he's like, oh, you know, Travis, everybody trying to intercept me.
So is he like retiring?
No, he's in free agency. So some of his questions are like, he asked Saquon who he should sign with for free agency, and Saquon was like, oh, I heard Giants need a quarterback. And then like one of the linemen for the Eagles told him that he should be doing exactly what he's doing right there. He's like, oh, so you think my football career's over? And he's like, no, I'm not saying that. But like if you go to any of the comments for it, he's like, man, somebody needs to hire him now to be a reporter. He's like, he's great. Like he's riding around New Orleans on a bike singing I Believe It Can Fly.
Yeah, he's always been really goofy.
Yeah, he's fun. Hi, and welcome to the album sharing sessions.
Yo.
Episode 16. Starting with another spooky type aesthetic.
Happy Halloween.
I guess, in February. I got this lamp, that's it. Brandon, you can turn the light off if you want. I want to show off my stupid expensive thing I bought because I'm dumb.
It's relevant to the album.
It is relevant to the album.
Yeah. It's from Alan Wake, right?
Yeah. It's from Fortnite. It's the pickaxe for the Alan Wake skin. No, he actually weirdly he gets this in the talk show that the Herald of Darkness comes from, that song. So it's even more relevant than just it being there.
Than you would think.
Yeah. But hi, welcome to episode 16 of the album sharing sessions.
We've made it.
Yeah.
We can drive now.
The podcast where we talk about 3 albums, make people listen to 3 albums. We each pick one, go around every 3 weeks, and then sit down and review them. To say our thoughts, if we agree or disagree, favorite songs, blah, 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 blah.
It's a good time.
Yeah, at least we think so. That's why we do it. But this week, we are talking about the Old Gods of Asgard album called Rebirth Greatest Hits. Get more into that later.
Something everybody surely has heard of.
Get more into that later.
We also covered Romance by Fontaines D.C.
And Bewitched by Laufey.
Is it? Laufey?
Yeah, I didn't know how to say her
I've
name.
been saying Laufey.
Yeah,
That's what I've been
I'm
saying.
pretty sure it's Laufey.
Laufey.
I think you're right because she's like Icelandic. It's like
Yeah.
the same thing as like Bjork, or you say her
Yeah.
name. But
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
No,
Laufey.
it's just been Laufey to me.
That sounds better. So
Yeah.
I like Laufey.
I read it as Laufey.
If it's Laufey, change it.
I'm pretty sure it's Laufey.
Laufey's cool.
We'll
That's
say
cool
that.
name.
I've seen a few videos of her saying how it's pronounced.
Oh man, I need Jer to do that.
Yeah. I try to look up his name and I have no idea.
Exactly.
Maybe it's just Chair.
Chair
Chair.
with a CH.
Yeah.
Okay.
But spelled with a J.
Maybe. I guess I've never seen it pronounced. But this over here is Timmy, and he has made some rounds and kissed some mouths. I really appreciate yours. I can normally make yours the weirdest.
I need to pick different albums.
This is Brandon. He wants to talk to the clown who has apologies down.
All right.
Whatever Starburster means with any of their lyrics, it's from that.
I'm hitting your business.
And I'm Tristan, and I'm trying to figure out a way to bring this podcast to a start. I changed my lyrics.
Is that what I was saying? Did they actually say that?
No. There's a trying to figure out how to bring this song to an end at the end of Herald Darkness. It's like, I'm going to change it, because mine was hard to do. But hi.
Well, you're Tristan, and you're taking control.
That's true.
You knew that.
Dark control. Blah. So, Brandon, how are your Super Bowl predictions?
I was half right. This is gonna go up after the
It
Super
is.
Bowl. So.
I like all my Eagles hair and stuff. And I was thinking about starting this with doing like the Fly Eagles Fly chant, and I was just like, I would love either way how funny it will be when this comes out.
Yeah, this is.
And I just look like a big idiot.
You're playing with fire here
Waiting for
with
a
this
really
episode.
bad holding call or a pass interference that
Yeah.
doesn't exist.
I mean,
or...
my prediction was Chiefs Lions, but like ultimately it was Chiefs win in a BS way.
Yeah.
So
That's
like
all of them
that,
so
like,
far.
like that's still gonna hold true. I think, no matter who they're playing. Obviously, it's not Detroit, but
Yeah. I don't know if you watched the beginning of that episode or our last episode where we were talking about it. Every time you said it's going to be the Lions, I put up their score for the game.
no, I didn't see that.
I just took a screenshot from like Google and was just like, every time you said it's going to be Lions, I would go, bleh.
That's funny.
I was pretty proud of it because we were immediately being outdated. But yeah, Super Bowl's tomorrow. It's time of recording. I'm a big Eagles fan. So
I'm a big anti-Chiefs fan. So.
yeah, I like these Super Bowls.
So I'm
because
rooting for the Eagles.
I don't care about sports at all.
we're based in Cincinnati, so anytime that this happens, which has happened twice now for some reason, it's a 2-week span of people being like, yeah, Eagles here where we live.
Yeah, this is like the time when 90% of America roots for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. I really was hoping for a Bills Eagles.
I was hoping
That
for
was the
anybody
Titans,
except the Chiefs. But
Bills Eagles would have been fun because it's like the two worst fan bases like together.
The Bills Mafia is nice. Like
They break tables.
They're a rowdy bunch, but like
That's the same thing with the Eagles.
but they're nice. But
Unfortunately, the Eagles' whole little thing of climbing lampposts killed a guy.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
Yeah.
they threw snowballs at Santa.
Yeah, they did throw snowballs at Santa.
The Bills are just like practicing their WWE moves. Like
Yeah.
they're
some reason they
harmless.
break tables. I don't understand it. That's in their tailgates. They're like, hey, here's a table.
I'm gonna
Jump on
power
it.
bomb you through it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's strange. Eagles. Woo.
Go sports.
Go sports. Ty, we went to an Eagles game this year because they played the Bengals in Cincinnati. And Ty made her, my sister, and Rev all matching pink shirts that says Go Sports. I hope both teams just have fun.
That's funny.
It's like, okay. They actually bought Eagles merch for them this time. Rev's got a little Bird Gang shirt down there. I'm pretty excited. But somehow, Rev is 2.5 years old, and she has now seen 2 Eagles Super Bowls. So somehow,
Wow.
That's crazy.
there are teams, just so you know, that have never made it.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was trying to explain it to Ty too, where I was like, since we've been together, there's been 3 Eagles Super Bowls, and I was like, there's only been, I think, 2 before that. in the
Yeah,
entirety
well,
of
they
NFL.
There might have just been one. They played against
They
New
did
New
2004.
England in 2004.
I think
yeah.
there might have been like a 80s one, but I
Maybe.
could be wrong. I know they lost.
I know for sure it's the New England one, 2004, and then 2017 was Nick Foles. I would say that's not fair. Like, I just saw the Bengals in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, but for the very first time.
Yeah.
And Rev's 2.5 years old.
And she's not that she's an Eagles fan, but she's a fan of the guy with a mohawk that goes to all the Eagles games and sings the fight song. I forgot where I was going to.
Cool.
So I like to bring up bands and things that we have talked about before.
Yeah.
That like in podcast or even before.
Yeah.
Things that have happened that like I'm just like, oh, that's weird. We just did this. So we were watching Shrek 2.
Yeah.
As you do.
We were just watching all the Shreks for some reason. We started the one on Hulu and it just starts the next one when it finishes. So we were just like, we got to the third one before we were done. And at the end, the credits for Shrek 2 has somebody that sounds exactly like Imogen Heap doing the credit song. And I was like, Ty, we need to Shazam this, which is like the app where you can make listens and tells you who is performing. Like, this is 100% Imogen Heap. And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, it is. Without a doubt, Imogen Heap. And she looked it up, and it is something called Frou Frou. And I was like, how is that not Imogen Heap? I was like, we just listened to a whole album. This is her.
Yeah.
And then we looked like one step further, and she had a band before she was solo, and that was her. Her band was called Fro Fro or Frou Frou. They have one album, so they didn't. But they're in the Shrek 2
that must have been like
credits.
right before she went solo. Then, because the album we listened to was what, like 2004 or 5?
Yeah, something.
Something like that.
Shrek 2 was what, 2003, 4?
Something, yeah. The Shrek 1's like 2000 or 99.
They made it to Shrek, so they must be decent.
Yeah. Shrek soundtracks are really good.
Shrek does have a good soundtrack.
Like all around.
I mean, I know the first one's like 90% Smash Mouth, but still.
It's got Counting Crows. And but then also, yesterday, Bear Ghost released a Hot To Go cover.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to check that out.
Yeah, 2 things we talked about. Bear Ghost, not so much on here.
Yeah.
Not that I need a pin.
They're fun to have.
I needed to make a weird screeching noise in the middle of our podcast.
You sound like an eagle.
Fly, eagle, fly. I found the actual lyrics to that. Apparently, it's Fight Eagles Fight at first.
I thought it was always Fly.
Yeah, I guess Fly doesn't kick in until the end where he says hit 'em low, or they say hit 'em low, hit 'em high, because it rhymes with high, fly. But I guess the Eagles fans tend to not even know how to spell their own name. So the fight song being changed over time is not surprising.
Well, the Jets, like, they spell their name out in their fight song.
So do the Eagles.
Do they?
That's how that ends.
EAG. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of clips online of people just misspelling it. It's fun. But then, Brandon, did you actually pick anything for your little thing?
Well, I didn't know if you want to do it this week since we're kind of pressed for time. But
We can do whatever we want to do.
It could take a little bit, like 10, 15 minutes.
That's fine. Let's do it.
I had an idea for us to do the album sharing sessions draft, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. We just come up with a topic and we go around and draft, like, and once you take something, like, it's yours, right? So
yes.
I was thinking maybe do, like, we'll start out simple and do, like, something we're all very familiar with, like top 5 video game franchises, perhaps.
Okay. So the idea is that just get the better team of.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like you're just your personal favorite.
Okay.
So, like, and it'll go, like, let's say I'll go first, and then it'll go to Timmy, and then Tristan, like, you'll pick twice. It'll go back to Timmy, go back to me. I'll pick twice, and so on.
I don't understand how that works. I don't know what drafts are.
You just pick when it's your turn.
Okay, it sounds like a sport thing.
It is a sports thing, sort of.
That explains why I don't understand.
But you're just picking 5
So, like,
video game franchises that you like.
Yeah.
I see.
And we'll see.
How many rounds are we doing this?
5.
Okay.
Like I'll say 1, then it'll be, whoever's turn, then the next person's turn, they'll go, and then they'll go.
I've seen a podcast do this,
Yeah.
but if Timmy doesn't understand still.
Well, we can give Timmy first pick just so he has like free reign, whichever. Unless you weren't prepared for that.
Or last if you want to understand what we're
Yeah.
doing.
I guess I'll go last.
Okay.
All right. So I'll go first then, and then so you'll pick twice when it's your turn.
Okay.
You're just
And
picking.
It'll go
franchises
it'll
that you
go
like.
back to Tristan.
Okay.
So I will go with the Yakuza franchise / Like a Dragon as my first pick in the draft.
Mine would just be kind of a cheat because we're doing what we're doing, but the Remedy
Remedy,
universe.
yeah. Kind of figured you were going
Yeah.
with that.
You kind of have to. We're talking about it.
So like 5, 4, 3, 2.
Well,
1,
just
or
like your first
any.
pick, yeah, just any. Do you, I'm like
You're gonna take it from me, essentially.
yeah,
Or like if you say a franchise that you like.
you know, like it's yours. Like if
Yeah.
you say
Okay.
like Mario or something, nobody else can take Mario.
Okay. Elder Scrolls.
Good one. That's a good one.
You're
That
on
was
again.
that was on my short list for sure. And then you're up again.
Spyro.
What can I take from Timmy? That's the way I play things. Or not really what I want to do. What can I make Timmy upset about?
Why are you taking my things?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been playing the Nier games lately. I'll do that.
Near.
Yeah.
All right. I will go with Pokemon.
You're
And
better
then-
at this than I
and
am.
And then I'll pick again, and I'll go with Mass Effect. Unfortunately, I get Andromeda, but you know, it's all right.
Resident Evil.
Oh, yeah. Damn, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter.
Okay.
Okay. So then this is your fourth.
Okay. So I go again.
Yeah. You'll go your next this pick, and then your next pick will be your last.
Okay. Animal Crossing.
I wasn't ready to go again.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I just came up with that one on the fly.
Poop. Do this little weird dance. What else do I
What you
like,
got? You
Timmy?
got-
Lego.
I do. That's a good franchise. The Lego
Like,
games.
that
yeah.
is a good franchise to get. That's like that covers a lot of things.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess this is
You're
it for me.
yeah, that's your last. What can I steal from?
Or I get two, or right, because I said
Yeah.
Yakuza, Mass Effect, Pokemon, Borderlands,
That's topical.
and is it topical?
Because your album. That's from the
Oh
trailer.
yeah, it is, yeah. And then I'll go with Dragon Age. To round out. I got a lot of RPGs on my list.
Child games. I know that sounds weird and dumb,
Yeah.
but my child makes me play child games.
Oh, I see.
There's like a Bluey game and there's like a Peppa Pig game.
That's one of your favorite franchises.
It is my favorite franchises.
No GTA or nothing like that.
No, I'm sure I
Bluey.
could come up with something, but my mind is blank of everything. No, Rock Band.
Okay.
Nice.
That's what I'll go with.
Yeah, Rock Band / we'll throw in Guitar Hero too.
Yeah.
My final pick will be Pikmin.
You don't like Fortnite that much?
It's not a series.
It's not really a franchise.
It absolutely is a franchise.
It's one game.
It has like 14,000 seasons, though.
I guess.
Okay. Well, fun.
That was fun.
And then our teams fight.
We got Team RPG, Team Nintendo, and I don't really know what Tristan's team is.
Bluey and Peppa's gonna screw you up. I mean, if they're fighting, Alan Wake would just win.
Woody?
Yeah,
Okay.
just write the others out of existence.
Is that his power?
It's kind of a MacGuffin where it kind of could just do.
Seems like it.
He has a stand. That's what it's.
How is there conflict in the game if that's what he can do?
The thing with the game, I guess, is that he's got to fit within the genre that he's writing. So if he's writing horror, which is or thriller in the first game, it's got to make sense. He can't just be like, and everything was okay.
I see.
It's got to be like pain, despair, mystery, okay. But it hasn't been okay so far.
Okay.
So I guess we'll get to okay, maybe. Albums.
Yeah, who we starting with?
We're going to go oldest to newest in a weird way. We're release date of the album. Because technically speaking, mine's been released slowly over the last 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yours is going to be a weird album to review, just in case you weren't aware.
However you said.
Laufey.
Laufey. Had us first.
Stay here forever and a day. You can't pin me down. I fear all solid ground. I'd rather.
Oh, that's first. Okay.
Which came out September 8th of 2023, and Laufey has a lot more listeners than I thought she did.
Yeah.
You want to take a guess?
Sure.
Guess how many?
3.
3 whole listeners. Yeah, that is more. It was just us.
15 mil.
It is 15 mil.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
It's 15.5 million.
Dang.
I did not look that up beforehand.
I had the oldest to newest idea in my head since we picked it, basically.
Yeah.
And after I found out how many listeners she had, I was like, maybe I should flip this, but we just did you last.
Yeah.
The only reason why you're first.
I see.
Yeah, these are all relatively new albums. I mean,
It's all within the last
say
year.
what you will about the Alan Wake one, yeah.
Most of the music was released in the last 2 years on that album. So I have a weird little thing that I thought would be funny. Where, I went to a music review website, and I found reviews for all of our albums.
Yeah.
I do that every episode.
And I thought it would be funny to find, like, pretty stupid or bad ones, which obviously isn't going to work every time.
Yeah.
But there is somebody that put on yours that this album is a little obvious. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
But her voice is attractive, so I could hear it till the end. It was 3.5 stars.
I like this little segment, like just throwing a random person's like throwaway review.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the whole review
did you
as
do
well.
That? Did you do that for all of them?
Yeah.
Did you find one for Alan Wake?
Yes, that was the one that I was like, my thing already isn't working. Because I couldn't really find... It was on Rate Your Music.
Yeah. That's where
There was one written review for mine. So
I
had to go with it.
I didn't look up your album because I didn't figure there would be, any... I didn't think it would have it in the database.
There were others for this album that I thought were also funny, but just the fact that the entire review of this is that her voice is attractive.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know what obvious means.
I don't
in
know
this
either.
context.
I don't either.
Oh, I guess it's not that obvious to you.
There was one that I really wanted to put, but they put paragraphs on paragraphs.
You could like just grab a little like.
They
blurb.
gave it like a 1.5 star, and said that it would have been an 8 if Lovesick wasn't on the album. Like hated one song so much that it brought it.
There ain't no way. There ain't no way one song brings you down that much.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was my next favorite one that I seen. But yeah.
What was that album?
What?
The 1 star.
Yours.
The Bewitched.
Oh, this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mine only has
What's
one
wrong with
written review.
Lovesick?
I don't.
That guy really hates it.
He hated it enough to bring the whole album from an 8 to whatever a 1.5 star out of 5 would be.
I need to listen to Lovesick again. I don't remember what it sounds like exactly.
But this album.
Yeah.
This album is interesting. Like it's definitely a lot, like way different than anything we've listened to so far.
It's a little too obvious for me.
I guess I'll start this with kind of, I wouldn't say spoiling so much, but I really appreciate our picks this round.
They were
like,
they
these-
were varied for sure.
For like audience sake, we don't plan these. We kind of like the surprise of being like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So like episodes like the one where we mostly did instrumental music, it happens sometimes. This one we could have been more different, but like truthfully, we're all over the place with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got like I believe this is like the first jazz type album we've listened to.
and
Like
Apple Music classifies it as.
certainly like we've listened to albums with jazz elements, but I would
Yeah.
this is like straight up vocal jazz. So.
I kept calling it gramophone music. It
That
reminds
makes
me of
sense.
gramophones.
It would sound good through a gramophone.
It's Bioshock music.
The last song really sounds Christmassy, like the title track, like the intro. And you said Bioshock, but like when I first put the album on, Dreamer started playing. I'm like, this is very Fallout-esque.
Yeah, same
like,
thing.
Yeah. Dreamer is very Fallout.
I'm like-
my immediate thought.
I had to look. I'm like, when did this album come out? Like
It kept in my mind coming out.
1950s.
I kept in my mind making jokes of like L.A. Noire stuff, and I was like, this sounds like the background of betting or fixing a boxing match.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I mean that's kind of the
Yeah.
style she's going for is that 1940s, 50s vocal jazz.
No, I quite appreciated this coming out like last year, 2 years ago, whatever you want to say. It's still February,
Yeah.
and it sounding like a 50s jazz like nightclub sound.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I like her style.
Not something we've ever covered, or even close.
Yeah, I think ultimately I do like this album quite a bit. Although I do like it certainly has some flaws with it, but which we'll get into. But overall, I was really rather impressed by this album. Just like I mean, to call back to the other dude, like her voice is really good. Like it's like the best part of the album.
Oh, yeah.
Attractive.
What he said.
No, I don't actually have any actual notes for any of this. I just have like what I've already said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I come away from this I don't know how much there is to say or how much I have to say, but I come away from this feeling positively about it. But I don't think I'll ever go back to it.
So I think my main issue with this album is that like I like all the songs on their own, but listening to it in an album format, it does start to kind of drag on and sound a little samey.
Yeah, it doesn't have the best flow.
No.
Like a lot of the songs, like all throughout, just have like a lot of just slow pacing.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it was trimmed down or just modified a little bit, it'd be better. But just way too many very slow songs, which I mean it is jazz, and I do like bossa nova, which is
Like
like
the
what
style.
this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, just as an album, it just doesn't have the best flow. But it does sound nice.
I think it would have benefited from having more songs like from the start.
Oh yeah.
on it.
I was expecting just more from the start.
Getting some drums in
Like
there.
that song kind of like stands out. Like I mean, it stands out as in it's probably my favorite song. But like
Right.
when you compare it to the rest of the tracks, it's like it almost seems like it doesn't quite fit.
Yeah.
There's I like also where it's placed as well, where like this album could feel really long if From the Start wasn't track 10.
Yeah, it's a good like pick me up
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the home stretch.
But I would say Dreamer and From the Start are probably my favorite.
Me too.
While You're Sleeping's pretty good too, if I'm picking apart songs. There are some, I think it's Misty that comes to mind.
Misty's a cover.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Which I don't know if you were gonna say like if it doesn't sound like it fits, but like
Not so
I
much that, but it sounds like in the own song, her voice doesn't fit sometimes.
so like, that might be why. Like I looked it up
Yeah.
and yeah, it's a cover.
Interesting.
Or like there are moments later in this album where it feels like the instruments and her are not together.
Yeah.
Or like what I mean by that is like if they took two different things, like she was in one room, instrumentals were in another room, and they were just like, however this sounds, it's coming together.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like sometimes the instrumentation will stop and she'll just be like still singing and to nothing, and then sometimes the other way around, and It's a problem with, I think, the last 4 here, at least in my brain. I think it might just be Misty I'm talking about, to be completely honest. But there are moments where I'm like, oh, this kind of doesn't sound great.
Yeah. I need to check out like the original version of Misty.
Who's it by? Do you know?
That I did not. I can check real quick.
So I found like Laufey through a cover of her song.
Mhm.
Yeah, which we reviewed
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
Episode 2, I believe.
Yeah.
Good kid covered that, and when I was like, what song like what was this from again? And then as soon as From the Start kicked in, I was like, oh yeah, it's this one. Like,
Yeah.
The Good Kid one I appreciate a lot more. But I like Good Kid.
Yeah, me too. I need to see if they release anything new.
No, they're touring.
Huh.
They'll be in Cincinnati next month.
Sick.
They're playing Bogarts.
Misty is a Johnny Burke / Errol
I
Garner.
do not know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know. They're jazz musicians from the 40s.
Shows you our knowledge for being music reviewers.
We're not like
Air quotes really hard there.
I mean, like I said, this is kind of new territory for us.
Yeah.
Covering a jazz album, vocal jazz at that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, the start of this is great. I really like Dreamer. It might actually be my favorite.
Dreamer's
Tigers
a
Wraith.
fantastic opening to the album.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly go back and forth between that and From the Start, being, which one's my number 1 favorite.
But then my only negative, and I'm really tired of putting this in our reviews because I feel like it's most of them, is that it's just a tad bit too long.
Yeah.
I don't know why it needed to be 14 tracks. That's it.
I might have felt the same because like I listened to it last.
Mm.
I listened to all the albums this morning, but I listened to this one fully last, like a few hours ago.
No, I listen to these quite a bit. I even took like a break. This week, for some reason, I've been feeling like these rounds have been going on forever. This one felt okay.
I felt like this round took forever, and I don't know if that's because of like real world stuff that's going on or what. But
This
like,
felt like the longest
Where the last 3
weeks.
weeks have felt like a year.
yeah, because
Yeah,
I was like,
Yeah.
when are we going to Tristan's to record the
Yeah.
podcast?
This one, I felt like I could actually review all these albums and feel okay about it. Where sometimes I feel really rushed, and sometimes I'm sick of them. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been the same length
Yeah.
of time.
Yep.
Physically speaking, but mentally, it's just
It's been a lot.
It felt like a year.
Yeah.
I wanted to give a quick shout to Letter to My 13-Year-Old Self for being like the one song on the album that's not about finding true love.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Which
That's what a lot of Rate My Music was saying, that the song title or the song structure, or not structure, jeez,
like
lyrically,
lyrically meaning
it's like the same.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's fine if you want to like sing about your love in so many different ways, but a little variety can help.
How old is she?
I have no idea.
I don't think she's very old.
Weird
I
question.
was
I
But,
think
like-
she's a little younger than me.
I was saying that
page.
Jer was 23 and he's 20.
Damn.
So I'm curious if there's like a weird age gap
I feel like she's
between us covering and
26 or something.
She's 25.
Damn.
I put in
younger
the
than
video.
us.
I was like, in the video, I typed out and put on the screen like, actually, I was wrong. It's 20 because I said 23 in it. I can't say I have much more though.
Yeah, well, even though like this album is kind of long and it doesn't have the best flow, I do kind of appreciate how all the songs are sort of connected. You kind of telling the same story,
Yeah.
like
Like-
her like journey through.
Well, that's what I
Finding
mean. Like a lot of the songs are about the same subject,
Yeah.
which is like that's fine. That's what she wants to do. Like if that's her vision,
Yeah.
great, go for it.
But,
It's just it also helps to have a little bit of variety.
yeah, but I just feel like when an album is like this long, it shouldn't be this slow. Like in the pacing of the songs,
Yeah.
so then it just becomes a bit of a drag.
Yeah,
At the
I mean it just kind of comes with the territory though,
Yeah,
with it being jazz.
it's more of a like background kind of music though.
Yeah, I listened to this yesterday playing Power Wash Simulator. It was relaxing.
That makes sense. I was just laying in bed with headphones.
I love your text yesterday made me laugh. I didn't think you were actually being like serious until
No,
you sent the second one.
I meant it.
You're like, oh, I should probably listen to him. It's like, Timmy, this is last night. Like we're recording in less than 12 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna listen to it last night, and my girlfriend just fell asleep.
Your album, I'm not even talking about it next, but on Apple Music, the heart moves back and forth, and it's pretty not settling.
It's unsettling.
This is not settling.
It's just going like this.
I really don't feel settled right now.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't have like much else to say really.
No.
I think it's weird. It's like a strong collection of songs, but like as an album, it just feels like, I don't know, like we say it every week.
More
like,
drums.
I mean, I was gonna say it could use some trimming.
More drums.
Not more drums.
More drums
Like,
is the answer.
Like I felt like Misty probably could have been. I get it's a
Yes.
cover, and she probably wanted to.
I probably like it a lot more.
Yeah.
I think it's my least favorite.
Also, the Nocturne interlude. I don't really
Yeah.
know why that's on here.
I kind of liked it, but
Trim
it does
down,
not need to be
give
there.
drums.
Yeah, I mean, just for like a vocal jazz album, that seems a little strange to include an instrumental
Yeah.
interlude. But
Drums equals good music.
It doesn't.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
I was thinking 6.5.
I was thinking 7.
6.5.
Don't need to do it.
Sweet.
That's
What-
fun.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by this round, though. I appreciated listening to everything.
Yeah. I didn't hate any of the albums we listened to.
Is it Alan Wake or Fontaine?
Alan Wake. So. So, this album, doing a lot of air quotes today. Old Gods of Asgard is the band. It's an album called Rebirth Greatest Hits. I've always felt like doing greatest hits albums is kind of cheating. We haven't done them yet. We're not going to, probably.
But, I mean, in this
This
case,
is not actually what it is.
Right. I'm not sure why it was called Greatest Hits.
Well, because it is.
Well,
They're greatest
I mean-
hits. It's the only songs they've made.
I mean, you might as well just call it the discography then.
Weirdly enough, there's a band called Remo Drive that their debut album is called Greatest Hits, just as like a...
Just as a joke.
Yeah. There's a handful like that now. So...
Yeah, this isn't, your everyday Greatest Hits album.
So this album, as an album, came out December 8th of 2023, but 2 of the songs came out on May 14th of 2010. One of the songs came out on February 22nd of 2012. Another one came out on August 27th of 2019, and 3 of them came out on October 27th of 2023. Making it the release date is for the intro track and the outro track. Both came out with this compilation release. Old Gods of Asgard, on the other hand, has 214.7 thousand monthly listeners on Spotify.
Honestly, more than I thought.
For a fake band?
Yeah. I guess we should say that, like, who they really are. Or...
Yeah. So, Old Gods of Asgard is a fake band. It is fictional for a game series that a company named Remedy makes. There is a real band. They are Poets of the Fall. Also quite good. Don't sound like this. Different, but fake band. We might, I don't know, I didn't do any research on this, but we might be the only ones ever to pick apart this album.
Make a review for this album.
As a music review. And not just talking about the music, trying to dive into lore for Alan Wake and Control.
Which is going to be difficult since you're the only one here that's...
Yeah, I was waiting. I was, ever since starting this group, I was just like, in this album coming out, I was just like, oh, I'll pick this at some point. But I would like for somebody else to play these games.
I mean, I played Alan Wake 1 and American Nightmare years ago.
So 3 of the songs were familiar, at least a
Not
little
really.
bit.
I don't remember hearing them.
You don't remember Children of the Elder God?
No.
It's like
I'll tell you, the only thing I remember
it's
from
the
Alan
song
Wake...
that plays when you're on the stage and you're like fighting the people on the stage.
If it wasn't put the lime in the coconut,
You go in the farm. That should be on this album.
It should, just like a little like thing at the end.
Because these are the people that are like, when you're in the diner, you're like, play lime in the coconut, sonny.
It should be a secret bonus
It
track,
should.
like all by myself.
Yeah. So.
And I think it would only make sense for you to start us out here, like, since this is very much your brand.
My little stupid review thing I started this week. This album had one review on Rate Your Music that actually had words, and it says, "We're getting out of the dark place with this one." That's all it said.
What did they give it?
5-star. There were 1-star reviews for this on the website, but nobody wrote words to them. I was trying to find it. So yeah, this is a fake band. Kind of weird to talk about. It's not even like fake band as a sense of like if we ever did Gorillaz, because like technically, but they still do performances and there's like real people. This also has real people. They've only done one performance as this band, and it was just at the Game Awards last year. Hit that home enough. These are songs that are made for the game. Most of them are played during gaming sequences, like where you're actually playing. They're not just there. Besides 2 of them. 2 of them are just there.
Oh.
They're a part of the game. They're just... There's no some big action sequence that comes with it.
Yeah.
They're normally the most fun parts of the game. Typically speaking. But as an album, as music, as something that we do here, because we don't review games, I actually unironically go back to this a lot. Like, not as just even like an Alan Wake fan. I feel like there is an actual, like, there's something here that is more than just...
And what is here is a lot of guitar solos.
Yeah. It sure is. Which is so surprising because Poets of the Fall has barely any. So, like, while Poets of the Fall guitar player is just shredding.
I'm not exaggerating. This album might have more guitar solos than Rust in Peace by Megadeth.
I think it does. Where, like, Herald of Darkness specifically has a 34-minute long version of this album. Or of that song. Just that song. And on here, it's 14 minutes. And, the 34-minute long version, you can basically take each phrase that they said and break it up and add, like, 2 minutes of guitar solo. So he basically goes, like, when I was young, or when you were young, you grew up nice and sheltered, something, clicker. It goes straight into the next line in this, even the 14-minute version. The next line isn't said to like the 5-minute version, 5-minute line, the longer version. It's just more and more guitar solos. I would say, probably without exaggerating, that this is probably the best guitar playing I've ever heard on music.
Wow.
Like
that's saying a lot.
It was pretty good.
Like I've listened to all the big shredding bands of the day and Slashes and whatnot. I've never heard any of them do a 14-minute long guitar solo. That is just nonstop crazy the whole time. If you're really into guitar, like, unironically listen to this. And I keep saying unironically because it's a fake band and I feel like I keep having to explain that, but, like, the guitar solos in here are no joke.
Sounds like geese.
There are geese outside. She's gonna... You summoned them with your statue earlier.
I think this album is very difficult to review as someone that is not that familiar with the Alan Wake series.
Yeah.
I might be just coming from like a super mega fan, but I feel like you can separate them okay.
Yeah,
you can.
This is music. It doesn't be like, hey, here, press X, and like you don't have to know that this is from a video game.
You certainly can, but like also having the context would probably help.
Or like Sea of Night is actually not in anything. It came out with this. It's only on this. Blah. But yeah, I listen to this a lot. I was really happy when this got released like it did because before it was all singles that I'd have to go and find. And like I listened to the Alan Wake music anyway before, and I would have to be like, they would shove like the games together, but before Alan Wake 2, when this came out, each game basically had one or two. Where Alan Wake had two, American Nightmare has one, Control has one, and then Alan Wake 2 has three. And that's when they released this, and I was so happy to not have to like pick individual songs anymore to listen to.
Yeah.
Just being able
make
to
your own playlist.
just being able to hit play on like this hour-long guitar solo. It's quite nice.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Actually, the Children of the Elder God being the first thing you come across to playing the games in chronological order. I honestly, playing it, I thought they had gotten Ozzy to do it, and then realized that it wasn't. As like the however old I was when I originally played Alan Wake, I was like, well, this sounds like Ozzy. It's not, clearly.
Yeah.
I need more from you guys. I need to know where your head's at.
I honestly like
Boy.
am not 100% sure. Like
What?
I don't know. Like, like it's a strange album to review.
It is.
Well, I have no experience with Alan Wake.
Yeah.
And I think, just separate from the game, I think this is all right. I think it's
Okay.
pretty good.
I thought so too. Like in my brain, I actually hold a lot of older music because the thing is that they're older guys that were big in like 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
That's the story of the band.
This is very like thrash / hair metal, like 80s metal.
The idea is that they were huge rock stars then, and then in the games they're mostly forgotten about, like where something happened and like history just wrote them out of existence.
Yeah.
But then like other things, they bring back occasionally like references to it, where like Barry in the first game becomes their agent after Alan Wake disappears, and then like in Quantum Break, the bad guy's wearing an Old Gods merch shirt.
Yeah, how come do they not make a song for Quantum Break?
Poets of the Fall is not even Quantum Break. Poets of the Fall is normally in all their games too. They were supposed to be in like a Poets song in it, and I guess some kind of licensing thing went through or failed. Quantum Break kind of lives in its own little. There's only like
I have played that one.
There's only 2 references to the other games in that one. Where like you can find a billboard in that one that says like Alan Wake and has a bunch of like connecting dots and trying to figure out the story, and then dude wearing an Old Gods shirt. Yeah. This album's really good. And I'm going to say unironically, but I do listen to it a lot as just album and music, and like not thinking about the games. I just actually like the way this sounds a lot.
I get it.
And there are parts of my brain that don't understand why this much effort, which is maybe why I appreciate it so much, because it's what Remedy does, but why this much effort in an hour's worth of fake music was written for the games when this band has an actual band, that they're not getting credit for this outside of the Remedy fan base.
Yeah.
Because the band doesn't sound like this. They're rock, but like they don't do the thrasher crazy guitar solos sound. They don't do sea shanties
Really?
or Broadway style music either.
Well, they're pretty good.
So what's better, Old Guards?
I like Poets quite a bit.
Or Poets?
I listen to this a lot more, so I guess I have to say this. But Poets is a good band. I thought about making us listen to them first, but they've got like a lot of albums, so I don't know really where to start. Most of the time for Poets, I listen to a greatest hits album, to tell you the truth. They've got like 14 albums.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a lot. So where to start? But most Remedy games have at least a song from each. Or like Control has a Poets song.
So they have a Poets of the Fall and Old Gods of Asgard?
Take Control and My Dark Diskeet, maybe is what it's called, is in that one. And like Alan Wake, a song called War by them is playing in one of the radios when you walk by. And then American Nightmare has a song called Psycho Song from Poets. Alan Wake 2 might not have a Poets song, to tell you the truth. But it's got also 7 other songs that are completely original by different artists that they made just for Alan Wake 2.
We listened to that one.
We listened to that one before the podcast, but for some reason they made 10 original songs for just Alan Wake 2 that only exists in Alan Wake 2. And why Remedy goes through that much effort for a game. It's probably why I like it so much, or why I like them so much. Where like Quantum Break has a whole TV show.
Yeah.
Where in between chapters you watch a TV show.
It's kind of strange. Feels a little clunky, but it kind of works.
No, I mean, every time I replay Quantum Break, I still watch it. It's still like a show that it's good. Yeah. I don't know.
It has a lot of good actors in it.
But I was curious about your guys' experience with this because you have no experience with games.
I just had a hard time just getting into it, I guess.
Ignore the fact that there's games. Just music.
Well, I tried to do that, and I don't know, it just wasn't clicking.
Okay, fair enough. It's really easy for me for some reason. Like, I just think Dark Ocean Summoning's great. It's like a crazy rocker with some dumb guitar solo at the end. Children of the Elder God is the one that screams the most like older rock style for me. Poet and the Muse is like a ballad, but also ends with a guitar solo.
I think I liked the American Nightmare song the best, which is like when I was listening to it, like it doesn't always scroll over on Apple Music, so I'm like, one was like, what game was this from? And it's American Nightmare. I'm like, I don't remember this at all.
Yeah. But I think Herald of Darkness is the longest one we've ever listened to in the whole music group.
Like the longest song?
Yeah.
I guess
even being 14 minutes. There's a 3-minute version, there's an 8-minute version, there's a 14-minute version, and there's a 34-minute version.
It's like a scepter.
Why they decided that this needed to be his pickaxe, I don't understand. For the Fortnite skin.
The Fortnite skin, of which you're probably the only one that...
I'm one of like 1,000 people.
Really? Honestly, that's surprising. That
it's like
people...
one of the lowest used skins of all of Fortnite. I mean,
like even 1,000. Like, how many people play Fortnite? Like over in the tens of millions, right?
Hey, Epic, if somehow you find this, the Alan Wake skin is the only reason I started playing Fortnite.
So
keep doing niche dumb stuff.
Make more, I guess.
Okay.
Also, the Sea of Night being not on anything and me having no prior knowledge with it before this little compilation came out. I also like it quite a bit. The She Shanty metal song, I think, works a lot better than I thought it would. But I could keep nerding out.
I will say Take Control is probably extremely catchy, like probably more catchy than it should be.
Yeah, Take Control was my favorite out of all of this.
Take Control has probably the coolest gameplay thing along with it as well. Maybe not. I don't know. Dark Ocean Summoning is a boss fight. But Take Control has like in the game, like things get really trippy and like walls start folding in on each other, like Inception style stuff.
Yeah.
But while Take Control is playing and like you're shooting people to the beat.
That's pretty sick.
Herald of Darkness is like a big thing. He actually seen it when I was playing Alan Wake 2 over, and I was showing him like how it's different than Alan Wake 1. And I walked into what it is, and a big thing pops up over the screen that's like Alan Wake the musical.
For it to ruin my life that way. You say you lived a jaded lie. Dark shades could never save the day. So sad, but true.
was like, oh, Brandon, I'm not playing this right now. I'm going to play this alone. That one's also really cool.
I like how it's featuring Alan Wake and,
Yeah.
and Mr. Door.
Yeah, they're characters. My mom was actually sending me video game references earlier, where she said something about like, "Dude, I need to get you a clicker," because mom joke, but because it says like your mom got you a clicker or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I never thought in a million years my mom would be sending me Alan Wake references.
Yeah, that's a bit random.
Like, even though I've been a stupid fan of this game franchise since.
When I hear clicker, I think Last of Us. What's that?
It's a little light switch.
Like his flashlight?
It's in the game, it's like no bigger than this little key.
So
It's just like a
one button remote.
Yeah. They call it the clicker. I'm gonna give this an astronomical rating. That doesn't seem right. If you guys have anything more to say,
Not really.
but
I feel like the vocals were a little weak at times. Like, it felt like when they were singing, they weren't really into it as much as I felt like they should have been. That's like my only criticism.
Okay. I do not feel that, but I could also try to come up with a reason for that. This isn't actually his band. Or like there is a real band, and like I think Poets of the Falls only played in America like 3 times. One of them is as Old Gods of Asgard at the Game Awards. It's just fun, but no, this in game wise, they actually have a lot to do with the story for all the Alan Wake stuff. They kind of Old Gods of Asgard is what brings the Remedyverse together mostly. A lot of the like. Me finding out that Control was in the same universe as you walking into a thing and being like, oh, there's an Old Gods of Asgard record here. And then
were they around for Max Payne?
Poets of the Fall started because of Max Payne. So they made Late Goodbye, which is like the theme song for Max Payne 2. But basically, as far as I'm aware, could be saying this wrong, but Sam Lake and lead singer of this band were friends. And they're like, hey, you're good at like poetry and writing and you want to start a band. Why don't you make a song for my game and I'll make it like the theme song? And then that was Poets of the Fall's first ever song.
Oh, so they started like just because
with Max Payne. Yeah. And like that one's cool where like you'll see NPCs like tagging a wall or something in Max Payne 2 and he'll be humming Late Goodbye. Like they incorporate it in cool ways. Like that's the first time you hear it is like a guy just singing it while he's tagging a wall, and it's just like, oh, I know this song. It's like, oh, that's Poets of the Fall. I was like, this is the first one, and then it's like in the opening sequence and blah 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 blah. So there's ties to both of these bands everywhere, but they're more than just the lime and the coconut. Alan Wake 2, you fight on their farm.
I don't know. That's the most memorable part to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Is everybody pretty much done?
I think so.
Pretty much.
I could nerd out all day about Alan Wake, so I'll just stop.
Well, this is the album I was like dreading reviewing this week, just because I really just don't have much to say. Like, it's got pretty cool guitar solos. It's catchy in some parts, but like just for whatever reason I just could not connect with it. I don't know I don't know if it's because subconsciously I know it's like a fake band or like a real band playing as a fake band, and I just don't have the context from which it appears in the game, which isn't like all that important necessarily because like there's a lot of good video game soundtracks out there that
also a lot of good music where the lyrics don't make sense.
It's like you don't have to know the video game to like the music.
Yeah.
But this isn't like your typical video game OST.
No, this could disguise itself as real music.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's fine to decent for what it is. Like I would probably just have to like come back to it. If I ever
get your act together,
if I ever play
some of the best games ever.
Yeah, exactly. And my thoughts might change then, but I was just kind of
Alan
mid
Wake 2
on this album.
Alan Wake 2 starts with a penis. If you wanted to have any preference.
Well, you sent us that in
Rush.
in the group chat.
I did. Rush into Alan Wake 2 like, oh, I gotta play Alan Wake 2. It's got penis.
But I'm just gonna go with like a 4.
I'll give it a 6.
I would say, as a musical album, that outside of the games, I would say if you like listening to stupid guitar solos that like are just way better than they have any right to be, I would say this like tops my list of ones I've ever heard. If you want to hear guitar music, I think the only other thing that might beat it for just like guitar music might be Polyphia. This album also holds a lot in regard to why I don't really like older music, because I feel like this does it better, and it's not even real. And it has the side effect of connecting all of my favorite games together. So I'm giving it a 10, because
Makes sense.
yeah, I don't see a single flaw in this thing.
6.7.
Woo.
Sorry.
Other than the intro, maybe. I don't know why that exists. I was
Yeah.
pretty disappointed when I was like, ooh, 2 new songs, and the first one was just like some ambient noise.
Yeah.
But there's sea shanties and Broadway stuff and ballads and 14-minute guitar solos
Yeah.
that are mixed into
There's
a
a lot
Broadway
going
song.
on.
There's a jazz part.
There's a lot going on.
And it's all fake.
Yeah.
Brandon's album.
Yeah, I'm looking at the heart move now.
Yeah, it's unsettling. I don't like it. Tammy, I'll show you so you can be included.
It looks like a vein.
Just like subtly moves.
Yeah. I am no longer settled.
Blah. So I picked this one last because I thought before doing this that I was like, one, you haven't done last than 3 times, like since trying to keep it orderly. But I thought it was going to be bigger than Timmy's because of the press that I've been hearing about it. But Romance by Fontaines D.C. Came out August 23rd of 2024, and they have 3.9 million monthly listeners.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good.
Yeah.
But Laufey is, I guess, way more
Way bigger than I
way
thought.
popular, way more popular than we thought.
Way.
So yeah, this was an album that just kind of escaped my grasp, I guess, when we were doing the year in review episode last year.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen this album cover before, but I just kind of like, blew past it, the heart moving, and never really gave it a chance. But then the Borderlands 4 trailer came out, as I mentioned on the last episode. And Borderlands always has really good music, like for their intros or trailers.
That is true.
And so, when I heard that, I was like, "Well, who's singing? Like, what is this song? Like, because this is pretty good." It was Starburster by Fontaines D.C. And so I was like, "Well, I guess we're just gonna listen to this album because I really like that song, and we'll kind of see how it goes." So I went into this pretty much just as blind as you guys.
I was gonna ask if you knew anything other than
No,
Starburster before.
I only knew Starburster. Like, whenever that trailer dropped a couple weeks ago, like that was it. Because I figured I was probably gonna pick this album just based off of that song.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you guys want to hear my review I grabbed from Rate Your Music?
Yes, please.
This is my most harsh one.
Really?
It says in a transparent dash for the arena, the drum sound is awful and the arena rock production exposes the surprisingly poor band blend of musicianship for a band 4 albums into their career.
Wow.
It was like a 2-star, I think.
See, I'm gonna have to call him out on the drums
Nope.
thing because like Starburster's drums are great.
This is why I like my new thing. This is already. This is
It gives us a talking point
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
what my goal with it is going to be finding bad reviews. I don't want to find good ones that's boring.
Well, no, yeah, because we want to.
I want to find 1 stars or less, or like 1 sentence ones that say the voice is attractive.
We'll either disagree most of the time, or sometimes we might agree if we
Mm-hmm.
don't like the album that we picked. But
Yeah, no, I was like, man, this one goes through the throat.
yeah, he really didn't.
Awful,
this album.
and yeah, no kidding.
But the thing is, he gave it a 2, like out of 5.
It was like a 1.5 or a 2, yeah. It's not the Lovesick exists, so it's a 1.5.
Yeah, what the hell is what's that?
I was gonna go and play that just so I knew what he was talking
We'll have to
about.
listen to
I
it like
need to
after
listen
the
to
after the
Lovesick
episode.
again.
Yeah. This album.
Yeah, so they're not British, but they're
Yeah.
Irish.
Sound quite
Ah.
it, but British or Irish.
Yeah.
I was gonna go British until I read this little blurb right here. This is the second album in a row that I wish I would have looked at this, where the Apple Music thing has a little
my
blurb
God.
for every song.
Jesus.
Apparently, all the albums I picked, they just
Caroline Polachek had the same.
Dude, they would just write like a whole book about all the songs.
Even like, why does going back to that one? They wrote a blurb about writing a song in a thong and making a thong out of it. Like that was the blurb. So
Oh.
like some of
How
these,
do you get these, by the way? Because I'm on the album. I don't see.
the iPad one is easier. I'll say that for sure. I don't know. I know that Fontaines has like blurbs, like here, but the album itself, on the iPad, it's right here next to it.
Oh, you have to like go. Okay, it's like you don't go to it in your library. You have to go find it like on their page, I guess.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the second one over for
Alright.
you that's been like, here's what this song's about, and I didn't write it. Tell me, what do you think about this album?
Not important, anyways.
I liked it.
I really like throwing you under the bus.
I like the overall vibe of this album.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, this album's like interesting. It's like it kind of doesn't know what it wants to be exactly,
Yeah.
which is like not a bad thing. But it's like there's a lot of punk elements. With Starburster, here's the thing, and then it gets slowed down like as you get through the album. Like the 1-2 punch of Motorcycle Boy, Sundowner. Like those are probably the 2 slowest songs on the album.
I like that they have a song named Bug.
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 For some reason, I thought you were going with Death Kink as your. I like
Not
that there's
not
a song
hoarseness
called-
is the whatness.
I didn't even notice that.
Say that there's a glaringly obvious like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this album was pretty cool. Like, I'm glad we checked it out on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I would have heard Starburster last year, like, it easily would have made my top 10
songs for sure.
But I didn't know about it. So, but if I did, like, it's up there. Like, I really like Starburster a lot.
I feel like there might. I don't know how this take's gonna go, but I really like the first 3 songs. The rest of the album all kind of just blends as one. For me.
Yeah, I kind of feel that too.
Yeah. So
Even like, I know Romance is kind of just like
it's like
kind of an intro.
It's a moody, dark
Yeah.
intro song.
I really like kid pianos in songs.
Yeah.
So that ding ding ding. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. Like, going into Starburst is also great. Just like a punk feel for it, and I like it. And I feel like the little breath in the chorus somehow makes it better.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like, I thought when I first heard it, I was like, "What is he doing? Like, why is he breathing like that?" And then the second listen, I'm like, "Wow, okay, like this adds so much to the song." Like,
Ty, on the other hand, did not like the breathing. Because I showed her this song. I was like, hey, listen to this. She's like, why is he breathing? And then she said something about Imagine Dragons doing that too, but only once. They could have only done it once too.
it's like I mean, it's very like Beartooth-esque, like early Beartooth.
Oh, with
like,
coughing at the beginning.
well, that and I mean Caleb, like he inhales a lot, like
Mm-hmm.
on that first album especially. But yeah, anyway, like.
And Here's the Thing is quite good as well.
Yes.
It's the 2 upbeat ones, to be fair, that I'm saying that I like. The rest of it for me is just like an atmospheric, like, fine time. Don't dislike anything about it, but also it could just be one, like, 30-minute song in my brain. And
Yeah, I usually, like, don't like these slower songs that much, like, when it comes to, you know, these punk type albums, but I actually, like, I mean, Starburster is my favorite, but after that, I really liked In the Modern World, Sundowner, and Favorite. I think Favorite's a great closer.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like it'd be like an ending credit song to like a coming of age movie.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Or like 4 through 11 are slower, and they're
Well, Death Kink's more
not even in a bad way. They just are. And I like the more upbeat ones more, other than Romance. I really like the vibe that Romance sets. But yeah, the rest just exist in my brain.
Yeah, I'm with this album being on the shorter side, just like under 40 minutes. Yeah. I was able to get probably more listens into this album than the rest, so I kind of got, you know, a better feel for how they wanted to do stuff, and that might be why I like the slower songs a lot, because like they just, you know, they start to stand out the more you hear them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I would definitely check out their other albums. I'm pretty sure their other albums are more upbeat.
It says in their little blurb that they went for a different sound this time.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever that old sound was, I don't know. But definitely not bad.
Yeah, like, this is like just a solid album that, like, I don't have, like, a whole lot to say about it, really. Like, I don't have too many negatives, but, like, I wasn't necessarily blown away by a lot of it.
That might be exactly how I feel.
I kind of feel the same. I would like to listen to it again.
Yeah, you did only get like one listen in it, right?
I've only listened to it once. It was the first album I listened to this morning.
Stop moving.
But I want to check it out again.
I like this album significantly less now that this heart is moving and looking at me.
I don't care for the
album art's rough.
The bean
heart.
Romance.
I'm not really sure what they were going for there.
Romance, Brandon. That's romance.
Oh, that's romance right there.
There's romance.
You see that? That's romance.
I'm going to have to sarcastically put how close you got to that in the video.
Just blow up the album art.
Yeah, well, I said that all of it kind of blurs together. Like, In the Modern World has the chorus that just repeats itself, but like it sticks out, and it is good. There are little things throughout those last 6 tracks or 7 tracks that I'm like, hey, this is this song. So they don't actually blur together, but they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
But I think I have the same kind of sentiments. Like, Starburster's really good. Here's the Thing is really good. Romance I like quite a lot, even though like I can't, like, I'm not gonna go back and listen to Romance.
It's not good to like listen on its own.
But as like intro and an album.
To open the album, yeah, it's great.
Little kid piano and anything's always. It bats 100 for me so far. Not that I can name that many that have kid piano, but you put the little four chord piano in any song. I've liked them so far.
Yeah. I feel like the Laufey album was more related to romance than this actual album.
You see that album cover?
Yeah, you just said it's romance.
That's romance.
Okay, in sound, at least.
There are a couple tracks. I mean, it's like In the Modern World's about some girl named Charlene, from what I could tell. I don't know if it's like a personal song or something. I mean, I guess you could look it up real quick.
I can. It's right here.
But, it's in the lyrics.
Grant wrote this song when he was in LA. He was really inspired by Lana Del Rey and stuff like that. That is what this says. Hollywood and the glitz and the glamour, but it's actually a decrepit place and the whole idea of faded glamour.
Well, I didn't hear nothing about romance.
Nope. I really like that the description for that says, and I quote, stuff like that, and then starts using like big words like decrepit and glamour.
I'm not like super familiar with Lana Del Rey, but I don't think she sounds like that. But
she doesn't sound like Irish punk.
I could be wrong, but
if Lana Del Rey sounds like Irish punk, I need to get on board.
I don't think she does.
I don't know if I know a single Lana Del Rey song.
Summertime Sadness.
I don't remember what
I'm
she
curious
sounds
now.
like.
Like, we have a music review channel. We should probably know what one of the bigger artists sounds like. I don't have a darn clue.
It's all. I'm pretty sure it's all very slow.
Her
like,
most popular song is a Weeknd song. It says The Weeknd and her. It came out this year, so maybe it's just a new bias thing. Summertime Sadness is her most popular.
that's like the only one I can tell you. For
Her
sure.
next most popular is called Video Games.
That's Summertime Sadness, right? Yeah. There was like a remix of it that made it more like dance clubby.
I know they're friends and all, but it seems like Taylor Swift listened to Lana and decided to make 4 albums that sound like that.
Maybe.
I'm surprised, like, with as much Taylor Swift as you have us listen to, Ashley's never put Lana Del Rey on.
I think we have listened to her a little bit. I just don't remember.
Sounds like it would be hard to differentiate.
I think she said that we should listen to Lana Del Rey, or she wants to like check out her music. I don't remember.
Timmy.
All right, yeah. I guess
The other 2 threw out numbers first. It's your turn.
Okay, 7.
Okay. I was going to go 6.75.
I'm gonna go 7 as well. I think it's pretty much on par with the Laufey album.
So, like,
Yeah.
6.8, like 9.5555.
6.75. Is that what you gave?
Yeah.
It? 6.9.
9.16.
6.9. 6.9.
6.6.
Nice.
11.
Nice.
All right.
Next picks. I actually have one this time.
I had a couple that I was
I did too.
debating which, and they're all they're all a little bit topical, sort of.
I was gonna pick one that's also topic. I wonder if we picked the same thing.
Did we all pick Tom McDonald?
Shit. I don't know what it is.
He's like
He's the one that did the song with Ben Shapiro called Facts.
Ew.
Yeah.
He's the MAGA rapper.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
He's got the blonde like dreadlocks.
Horrible rap music.
Is that the one that's Canadian?
Yep, that is the one that's Canadian.
That guy's a fucking moron for a number of reasons.
I didn't know he was Canadian, but
Tom McDonald
that
episode.
makes it even worse.
Yeah.
That is part of the cringe there.
So you remember when you put political albums like
Yeah.
on part of the poll? This might be a
I know. I kind of figured as much.
impromptu gimmick round.
For time frame references, since we're about to do this, we are currently on the 3rd week of a Trump second term of presidency, and it's felt like a year.
Yeah, fascism is on the rise.
Woo.
Nazis are coming out of the woodworks. Like a lot.
Yeah,
It's a bad time.
it is a bad time.
Okay. My pick.
I know Brandon was starting, but
Okay.
I made you go.
I didn't know we were all doing.
I just felt like that was going to be the case.
So the Grammys happened.
Yeah.
Are we going to pick Chris Brown?
No.
Are you gonna pick Jaden Smith in his house?
Also,
No.
side note, Grammys gave Chris Brown the best R&B album in 2025.
What the fuck?
Did they
I
really?
didn't know that. Jesus.
I didn't even know he was still making
Chris
music.
Brown, and it's 2025.
Who'd he beat out? Like,
Any other
Who
R&B
else
artist?
had-
I can't say I know R&B well enough to be like this guy. But Chris Brown, like, why is he even nominated? Why did we not move past Chris Brown?
Well, I mean,
Grammy
I
people.
could-
Chris
I could-
Brown's bad.
I could say something was related to politics, which we're trying to not leave in. But you could probably guess what I would say.
Chris Brown beats Rihanna
Yeah.
and then goes and steals stuff. He's not good all around. Why are we giving him Grammys in 2025? It's just embarrassing.
Yeah. A lot of things in America are embarrassing right
Yeah,
now.
that's...
Uh,
When the Super Bowl's over, I'm going to have a lot of, like, dopamine gone.
yeah.
Or, like, the Eagles are in it, so I'm like, yeah, the world's falling apart, but Eagles.
Yeah.
he's going to the Super Bowl. He's the first president to do
Yeah.
that, which I was kind of shocked by. Like,
Yeah.
because this, Super Bowl 59.
I feel like...
You're telling me like over 59 years, no
Yeah, right.
president has went
Maybe-
to.
Anyway, Grammys happened.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii.
I've heard
I don't know what that
a
is at all.
song from this album.
Yeah, I have too.
She was pretty good, but I don't know if it's the same song that we've heard, but I didn't realize that was like a... Well, what do you mean? Okay, when you say topical, do you just mean the Grammys?
Yeah, the Grammys.
Oh, I thought you were going to go political too.
No.
Oh, well.
Brandon, go ahead.
Okay. Well, Timmy, you kind of left me on an island then.
Are you going to pick Chris
I bet.
Brown?
No, I am picking the aptly named Evil Empire by Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, I thought about picking something like that, but I was like, the Grammys. That
I
just
go
happened.
the Grammys because of Chris Brown. Like, I'm like...
Yeah, understandable.
I was going to... I don't ever watch them. I don't care about reward shows, but I always like, Google search 2-1.
Yeah.
I was scrolling through them all, and like Gojira won for like best moto performance, which they deserved.
At the Olympics.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
We were
And,
only interested because like all the pop girls were in
Yeah.
it. That like,
Yeah,
we
Chapel
like,
and
It was
Billie
Pop Girl
Eilish.
year.
yeah, there was Chapel,
Sabrina.
But then when I got to
The
R&B...
Powerpuff Girls.
and Billy,
Yeah.
and I was rooting for Billy to
Yeah,
win. Like,
should have. The best album
year.
of all those.
Didn't they give it to Beyonce?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
because she hasn't before. It was one of those.
But Beyonce already won like another thing for like the best country thing.
Kendrick won 5.
Yeah.
For Not Like Us.
For calling Drake a pedophile, and I love that.
That's the
But
reason to watch
Kendrick
Super Bowl,
has
really.
he has the opportunity to do the funniest thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as I was scrolling through all the winners, and I was like, hey, cool, Gojira, like, whatever. Scrolling through them, I was like, wait, they gave one to Chris Brown. I was like, I'm never watching or caring about this again.
Yeah, I don't.
And he's like, that's
I
the
don't think I will.
worst.
Uh,
Like, why is this world not giving up on Chris Brown? It frustrates me to no end. Even as, like, before cancel culture and before, like,
yeah.
being bad was, like, a thing to lose your career over. Even as, like, a teenager, I was like, oh, Chris Brown's bad. I'm never going to associate. I'm never going to listen to. Man.
In this world, bad people win Grammys or
Yeah.
become the president twice.
And actually win this time. Popular vote 2.
Yeah.
That's what upset me about that. Because he didn't even win the popular vote last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did say that Elon helped him win
There's something
through the machines.
There's something going on there.
So this is not a call for arms. My family members that listen to this and like, don't call me and be like, Tristan, I can help you, because you can't. I'm going through a little bit of an existential crisis because of the political stuff in this world. And my brain is broken to where when that is happening, I have to listen to stuff that also is that. So if you don't want to participate in this round, all for you. Not for you two, you have to. But I'm going to pick an album called Brave Faces, Everyone by Spanish Love Songs.
Love Songs, yeah.
Because it helps me get through this for the time being. I've been listening to it a lot again. I have found it at the end of his last presidency when I was feeling this same kind of way. Because, like, maybe I'm looking back on rose-colored glasses. I feel like the last year of the Trump presidency last time was the one where I'm like, oh, man, this is the worst. Like, the other 3 years were probably...
Because that was 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where, like, he was
And
telling
that
people
was
to drink
10 years
bleach and eat horse dewormer and
Yeah.
holding up Bibles in front of Black Lives Matter protests. And, like, that's
Upside
when I was...
down also.
Yeah. And, like, all of that was happening. Where I was, like, I didn't, like... January 6th and all that. I found that album in March of that year. And, like, basically found the album... COVID happened, and then basically the whole world. So, I'm going back. We're going to listen to that. It's not exactly a good time.
All right.
Yeah.
That's going to be a wild episode next time.
Yeah. Well, we listen to Chris Brown and Tom McDonald. Have a real winner's circle. Yeah. That has been this episode of the Album Sharing Sessions.
Thanks for listening, if you're still listening.
Yeah. And
See ya.
see ya on episode 17.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay.